The sky above Earth was quiet at first, but soon strange shapes appeared among the stars, enormous objects moving silently, glinting like metal in the sunlight. At first, people thought they were comets or satellites, but scientists quickly realized these were something far beyond human invention. Astronomers around the world stared in disbelief as their instruments tracked an enormous alien fleet heading straight for the solar system. Each ship was massive, some longer than entire cities, with surfaces that shimmered in strange ways and reflected light unlike anything humans had seen. The fleet moved with precision, perfectly coordinated, as if controlled by a single intelligence far beyond humanity's understanding. Governments and space agencies quickly confirmed the sightings and sent urgent messages around the globe. News channels broadcast the images, and people everywhere stopped to watch in awe and fear. Some hoped the aliens might be peaceful, while others feared the worst. Earth's leaders sent warnings through every communication channel, even including images of humans, our cities, and scientific achievements, hoping to show intelligence and goodwill. The fleet ignored every signal, continuing its approach without slowing or responding in any way. People everywhere watched anxiously, wondering if the aliens even understood what humans were saying. Could they be observing Earth as a curious experiment, or were they planning something more dangerous? Humanity began to unite in fear and fascination, scientists working tirelessly to detect any signal or sign of communication from the Armada. The ships were not just huge, but they moved in strategic formations that suggested careful planning. Their movement was precise, almost like a dance, yet powerful and intimidating. Military experts studied the fleet's patterns, searching for weaknesses, but the ships seemed unstoppable, fast, and armed with technology beyond human comprehension. As days passed, more details emerged from satellites and telescopes. The fleet emitted low-energy waves that humans could barely detect. Their shadows stretched across planets as they passed, and light reflecting from the ships created strange glows in Earth's night sky. People looked up in awe and fear, realizing the universe held beings far more advanced than themselves. Scientists debated the aliens' intentions, some believing they were explorers, others warning of invasion. Governments prepared for worst-case scenarios. Emergency meetings were held, and space programs worked day and night to develop a defense. Even without communication, humanity instinctively felt it had to protect itself. Children watched the skies, fascinated and scared, drawing the massive ships in notebooks, while artists and writers imagined stories about them. The fleet moved as one, silent and powerful, leaving trails of energy that puzzled scientists. Every attempt to scan or approach the fleet failed, forcing even the bravest agencies to act cautiously. People shared theories across the globe, some believing the fleet was a warning, others claiming it was a test, and some hoping the aliens didn't even notice Earth. Yet despite fear, there was awe and curiosity, a realization that humanity was about to witness something extraordinary that could change history forever. As the fleet moved past Mars' orbit, its size became impossible to ignore. Even the skeptics admitted that the universe had revealed a force far beyond imagination, and all of humanity held its breath, staring at the sky, waiting to see what would happen next. A small Earth probe was launched into space to try and make contact with the alien fleet. Scientists and engineers worked day and night, designing it to send messages in every possible form, from radio signals to visual codes, hoping the aliens could understand. People all over the world watched anxiously as the probe approached the enormous ships. Its tiny size a sharp contrast to the massive Armada. The probe sent greetings, images of humans, Earth's landscapes, and messages of peace. Yet the aliens ignored it completely. The messages bounced back or disappeared into space without a trace. Scientists analyzed every response or lack of response, hoping to find a pattern. They tried different frequencies, codes, and languages, but nothing seemed to reach the alien minds. Each failed attempt added tension on Earth, people wondering if these beings were intelligent in ways humans could not understand, or if they simply did not care about life on our planet. Military and scientific leaders debated what to do next, whether to continue trying to communicate or to prepare for conflict. The alien ships moved closer to Earth's orbit, their speed and formation flawless. As they moved, their surfaces emitted strange pulses of light and energy, patterns that fascinated scientists but also made many uneasy. It was clear these beings were observing Earth, but with no signs of friendliness or aggression yet. Their silence created more fear than their actions, because humanity had no way to predict what they would do. People all over the world speculated about the aliens' intentions. Some believed they were explorers, quietly studying Earth before making a decision. Others feared they were calculating the best way to attack. Still others thought the fleet was passing through, indifferent to humanity. News outlets were filled with interviews of scientists, politicians, and experts trying to explain the aliens' behavior, but no one could give a definitive answer. Governments continued sending messages, increasing the intensity and frequency. They broadcasted every kind of communication imaginable, from mathematical equations to artistic drawings, even messages of warning. Humanity's hope was that the aliens would recognize intelligence and choose peace over destruction. Despite the warnings and attempts at contact, the Armada remained silent, a massive, unyielding presence moving closer every day. Space agencies monitored the fleet constantly, tracking movements, energy patterns, and even small changes in ship formations. Every detail was analyzed for signs of intent. Every small signal from the aliens was debated for hours, scientists trying to determine if it was deliberate or just natural phenomena from their technology. The closer the ships came, the more the world realized that humanity's survival might depend on understanding these beings before it was too late. Despite fear and uncertainty, there was also fascination. People marveled at the technology, at the scale of the ships, at the precision of their movement. Artists and writers imagined stories about the aliens, and children drew the fleet in colorful pictures, trying to capture what they could not fully understand. Humanity realized that they were witnessing history and perhaps the first real encounter with an intelligence far beyond themselves. As the fleet reached the edge of Earth's solar system, the probe continued its mission, sending signals in every possible way, hoping that one day the aliens might respond. Even as the probe's messages disappeared into silence, people on Earth did not give up hope. They watched, waited, and studied, aware that the first contact with another civilization was not just a possibility, but a reality in progress. Every day brought new tension, new excitement, and new mysteries. The aliens remained quiet, but their presence was a constant reminder that the universe was vast and full of forces humanity had never encountered. And though no words were exchanged, the probe's mission marked the beginning of a story that would change humanity forever. Earth broadcasted its final desperate message to the alien fleet. Every possible channel was used, from radio waves to powerful lasers aimed at space. The message explained that humans had knowledge, intelligence, and the ability to defend their planet. Scientists included diagrams of weapons, space stations, and Earth's defenses, hoping the aliens would understand that any attack on Earth would not go unanswered. Leaders from every nation spoke together, their voices recorded and transmitted into the void, warning that the planet was protected not only by humans, but by unknown forces in the galaxy that could defend against intruders. The world watched anxiously as the message traveled across millions of kilometers, hoping that the aliens would take the warning seriously. Every telescope and radar monitored the fleet for any reaction, yet the ships continued their approach with the same calm precision. Ignoring every warning and every signal sent by humanity, the silence from the Armada created a mixture of fear and frustration, making people question whether the aliens could even perceive the warnings, or if their understanding of life was completely different from humans. Military commanders prepared their forces, organizing satellites, drones, and experimental weapons designed to repel an invasion. The plan was to defend major cities, power plants, and space stations. While scientists worked to discover weaknesses in the alien fleet, simulations were run endlessly, projecting different scenarios, from peaceful retreat to full-scale attack, and every possibility was considered. The knowledge that humanity was confronting a civilization far more advanced caused tension and determination to rise together. Scientists attempted new ways to communicate, changing the format of their warnings, sending encoded messages, images, and even music, hoping to appeal to intelligence in ways humans could understand. Despite all efforts, the aliens did not respond. Their silence was deafening, and it reminded everyone that humans were dealing with beings whose thoughts and decisions could not be predicted. People everywhere tried to imagine what the aliens were thinking. Were they observing as a test, studying humans for reasons unknown, or ignoring the warnings because they saw no threat in Earth? Public reactions were mixed. Some panicked, fearing imminent destruction, while others tried to remain hopeful, believing that the warnings might still have an effect. Religious leaders, scientists, and philosophers debated whether humanity had the right to send warnings or if they were simply speaking into the void. The uncertainty created both anxiety and fascination, as everyone realized they were part of a historic moment. Possibly the first true interaction with another intelligent species, Earth's defenses were prepared for any eventuality. But humanity also hoped that intelligence and reason could prevent conflict. Schools and communities discussed the importance of unity, knowing that fear could divide, while courage and cooperation might help survive an encounter with a vastly superior force. Every broadcast from government agencies reminded people to stay calm but vigilant, to trust the scientists and leaders who were working tirelessly, and to understand that the universe had become far larger and more mysterious overnight. The alien fleet continued moving closer, still unresponsive. Their formations remained perfect, their size and energy output growing more visible as they approached Earth's orbit. Every day, new data from telescopes and satellites was analyzed, looking for even the smallest indication that the warnings had been received. Each small anomaly was studied, debated, and shared among scientists around the world, fueling speculation and hope. Even as tension grew, humanity felt a sense of pride, sending a final message that represented every nation, culture, and achievement on Earth. The warning was not just a threat, it was a declaration that humans would not be passive in the face of unknown forces. It showed courage, determination, and a willingness to defend the planet, even against an enemy whose power and intentions were beyond comprehension. Despite all the preparation and warnings, the aliens continued their silent approach, leaving Earth's people on edge, waiting, watching, and hoping that the universe's intelligence would understand their message. That even without spoken words, the warning carried meaning, a message of survival, intelligence, and the resilience of humanity. The final broadcast marked the climax of Earth's efforts to communicate, a combination of hope, courage, and caution as humans faced the unknown forces moving closer every day. The alien Armada began moving closer to Earth, their massive ships casting shadows that stretched across the planets. Humanity watched with both fear and fascination as the fleet's movements became more aggressive, testing the limits of orbital defenses and satellites. The ships did not attack directly at first, but their maneuvers were precise, almost like a warning, showing power without destruction. Military analysts on Earth observed every movement, trying to predict the aliens' intentions. Every small action was scrutinized, looking for weaknesses or patterns that could be used to protect the planet. Earth's defense forces were fully alert, satellites were repositioned, drones were launched, and experimental weapons were activated. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, coordinating with military commanders to prepare for the possibility of an actual attack. Every nation shared data. Every radar and telescope focused on tracking the fleet. It was clear that humanity had to be ready for anything, even though the aliens' intentions remained unknown. Despite the tension, the aliens did not directly fire upon Earth or its satellites. Their approach seemed deliberate, testing humanity's defenses while remaining silent and calm. Every skirmish or encounter between drones and small scout ships revealed the aliens' superior technology. Yet the fleet sometimes retreated slightly after minor clashes, leaving humans confused and anxious, wondering if it was a tactical move, an experiment, or some form of communication. Scientists studied the patterns of retreat and advance, trying to understand if the aliens were observing human strategies. Every minor interaction was analyzed, every signal monitored, yet the alien technology remained a mystery. Humans had no way to predict what would happen next. And this uncertainty added to the tension. Schools, offices, and homes followed the news obsessively, every citizen aware that something extraordinary was happening in the sky above. The world's leaders met constantly, discussing defensive strategies, diplomatic messages, and potential evacuation plans. Even though no direct attack had occurred, the presence of the Armada forced humanity to act as one, combining knowledge, science, and courage to prepare for any possibility. People everywhere shared the fear and anticipation, realizing that the universe was showing them forces far beyond their understanding. The aliens' movements were both fascinating and terrifying, their ships moving in perfect formations that suggested intelligence and coordination far beyond anything humans had seen. Satellites and telescopes captured images of energy pulses, glowing surfaces, and strange patterns in space around the fleet. Every scientist tried to decode the meaning, searching for clues that might reveal the aliens' purpose. As days passed, minor clashes occurred, but the alien fleet always seemed in control, retreating slightly when tested but never fully withdrawing. The behavior created more questions than answers, making humans wonder whether the Armada was cautious, curious, or even testing Earth's courage and capabilities. People speculated endlessly, imagining strategies the aliens might use or lessons they were trying to teach. The uncertainty created both fear and determination, as humanity realized the need to stay vigilant while hoping for peaceful resolution. Despite the stress and anxiety, there was also a growing sense of awe. Humanity marveled at the scale, precision, and power of the alien Armada. Artists, writers, and children drew the ships and imagined stories about them, while scientists and engineers took inspiration from the technology, trying to understand the unimaginable. The alien presence reminded humans of how small they were in the universe, yet also showed the courage and creativity of a species willing to defend itself. Even as the fleet moved closer, humanity remained prepared, focused, and determined, knowing that every movement, every signal, and every minor encounter could hold the key to survival. The aliens, strange behavior, testing defenses, retreating slightly, yet never responding to warnings, kept humans on edge, teaching patience, observation, and strategic thinking on a scale never experienced before. The skies above Earth were filled with tension, wonder, and the unknown, as humans observed the massive alien fleet, waiting to see whether it would attack, retreat, or make contact. Every day brought new challenges, new observations, and new hope, as the planet united in both fear and fascination, realizing that this encounter was not just a test of technology or military strength, but a test of humanity itself. Over the next few days, strange and unexplainable events began to happen near the alien fleet. Satellites recorded unusual energy fluctuations, gravitational anomalies, and bursts of light that did not match any known natural or human-made phenomenon. Scientists were amazed and puzzled, trying to understand what could be causing these effects, while the fleet moved as if carefully navigating through these cosmic disturbances. Humanity watched nervously, realizing that the universe held forces far beyond their understanding. Small scout ships from the alien Armada began disappearing without a trace, vanishing from radar and telescopes as if swallowed by space itself. Each disappearance caused concern and debate among Earth scientists and military experts who tried to find patterns or explanations. Some suggested that the aliens were experimenting with unknown technologies. Others thought they were being affected by natural cosmic forces, but no one could be certain. The strange phenomena seemed to increase in intensity as the fleet moved closer to Earth. Pulses of energy radiated from the ships, interacting with the surrounding space in ways that confused and fascinated scientists. The more humans studied the fleet, the more they realized that the aliens were operating in an environment far more complex than anything Earth had ever encountered. Every observation revealed new mysteries, from sudden bursts of radiation to gravitational waves that made satellites wobble. Despite these uncertainties, humanity continued to prepare for defense, sending new probes and testing weapon systems. Yet the alien fleet did not respond with aggression. Instead, the ships seemed focused on navigating the strange cosmic forces. Their movements became even more precise and calculated, as if the fleet itself was aware of something humans could not see. Military and space agencies debated endlessly, trying to decide whether to consider this a warning, a challenge, or just an unpredictable natural event. People across the world watched the skies with a mixture of fear and fascination. Schools held lessons about space and technology. News programs reported constantly on every anomaly, and citizens speculated about what these events could mean. even ordinary people began to feel the magnitude of what was happening, understanding that humanity was witnessing phenomena that might never be fully explained. The presence of the aliens combined with the cosmic anomalies created an atmosphere of awe, making everyone realize that the universe was far larger and stranger than anyone had imagined. Some of the anomalies appeared to interact directly with the alien ships, causing sudden changes in speed, direction, or energy emissions. Scientists observed these changes carefully, noting that the fleet, despite its immense power, was being affected by forces they could not control. This realization gave humans both hope and fear, showing that even the most advanced civilization could encounter something beyond its control. It reminded humanity of the importance of caution, observation, and understanding before taking action. As the days continued, the mysterious events seemed to intensify, drawing the attention of international space agencies. They shared their data openly, analyzing patterns in energy pulses, gravitational shifts, and the strange disappearances of scout ships. Every anomaly sparked debates about the laws of physics, the nature of the universe, and the limits of even the most advanced technology. Humanity had never faced such an unpredictable situation, and yet the planet remained united in curiosity and vigilance. Amidst fear and confusion, there was also wonder. People marveled at the scale of the alien fleet, the power of cosmic forces, and the beauty of phenomena they could barely understand. Artists painted the strange lights in the sky. Writers imagined stories of alien civilizations encountering mysterious forces, and scientists pushed the boundaries of their knowledge, striving to understand what was happening. The events reminded humans of both their fragility and their potential, showing that courage, curiosity, and collaboration were as important as weapons or defenses. Even as the anomalies continued, the alien fleet remained focused, moving through space with precision despite the unknown forces around it. Humanity realized that they were witnessing something extraordinary, a combination of intelligence, technology, and the unpredictable mysteries of the universe. Every day brought new discoveries, new questions, and new awe, as the fleet's journey through the strange phenomena reminded humans that the galaxy held secrets far beyond their imagination. The world waited, watched, and studied, aware that the events unfolding near the alien fleet might be the first step toward understanding forces that could shape the future of both Earth and the wider universe. Every energy pulse, every disappearance, and every unexplained phenomenon was a lesson in humility, showing that even the most advanced civilization could face mysteries that were bigger, stranger, and more powerful than anything they had ever encountered. Without warning, the alien armada vanished completely from all tracking instruments. Satellites, telescopes, and radar systems showed no trace of the massive ships. Not a single signal or fragment remained. Humanity was stunned, disbelief spreading across the globe as scientists and military analysts scrambled to make sense of what had just happened. People could not believe that such a powerful and enormous fleet could disappear without a trace, leaving no debris, no energy signals, and no signs of retreat. In observatories and command centers, experts tried to reconstruct what had occurred, checking and rechecking their instruments, but everything indicated that the Armada had simply ceased to exist. Every scan showed empty space where the ships had once moved in perfect formation. The sudden disappearance created shock and confusion, as no known technology or natural phenomenon could explain it. Scientists debated theories, some suggesting advanced cloaking, others proposing energy-based destruction, while a few wondered if some unknown cosmic force had intervened. Governments issued emergency statements, trying to calm the population, but the mystery only increased fear and curiosity. News channels broadcast live from observatories, showing empty skies and emphasizing that the fleet, once visible and immense, was now gone as if it had never existed. Social media exploded with speculation, theories, and videos of the last sightings. People argued endlessly over what could have caused such a phenomenon, mixing science with imagination, and even panic with awe. Military analysts examined every possible scenario, reviewing data from satellites, radar, and probes. They calculated whether the fleet could have hidden in another dimension, teleported, or been destroyed by some unknown energy. Yet every hypothesis had gaps, and no conclusion seemed entirely believable. Humanity realized that the disappearance was not only inexplicable, but also unprecedented, leaving even the most advanced minds in the world questioning the limits of their knowledge. Scientists studied cosmic readings, searching for anomalies that might explain the Armada's sudden absence. They noted that energy patterns near the fleet had shifted dramatically just before disappearance, as if some force had absorbed or erased the ships. The patterns were unlike anything seen before, defying conventional understanding of physics. Some theorized that the aliens had encountered a force far beyond their control, while others suggested that the Armada had retreated into a region of space humans could not detect. Meanwhile, the public reacted with a mixture of relief, fear, and curiosity. People celebrated the fact that Earth was safe, but the mystery of the vanished fleet haunted their thoughts. Questions about why the aliens had come, what they intended, and what had erased them filled conversations around the world. Humanity understood that the universe contained forces far stronger and stranger than anything they had imagined, and that survival might sometimes depend as much on luck as on skill or technology. The disappearance also sparked new scientific projects, with space agencies studying the exact location, trajectory, and energy readings of the fleet's last positions. Every detail was documented and analyzed, hoping to learn something from the unexplained event. Theories ranged from advanced alien self-destruction to unknown cosmic guardians protecting planets like Earth, yet none could be proven, leaving the mystery open-ended and awe-inspiring. In the aftermath, humanity felt both humbled and empowered. Humbled by the realization that even the most advanced civilization could encounter forces beyond comprehension. Empowered by the fact that Earth had survived an encounter with an armada far superior to its own technology. The disappearance became a reminder that the galaxy was full of unknown powers, waiting to be discovered, respected, and understood. People reflected on what had been learned, understanding that caution, observation, and unity were as important as weapons or defense systems. Humanity's gaze shifted beyond its own planet, inspired to explore space with curiosity and care, while remembering that even the strongest fleets might face forces they cannot see or control. The sudden vanishing of the alien armada remained a central mystery for decades, shaping humanity's science, philosophy, and imagination. Scientists continued to study the cosmic anomalies. Historians recorded every detail. And the story of the vanished fleet became a lesson in humility, wonder, and the limits of understanding. Humanity had faced an unknown power, survived, and learned that the universe was far larger, stranger, and more unpredictable than ever imagined. Earth slowly began to recover from the shock of the alien armada's sudden disappearance. Governments and citizens alike felt relief, but also a deep sense of curiosity and caution. Scientists continued to study the last known positions of the fleet, the energy anomalies, and the strange cosmic events that had accompanied their approach. Every observation seemed to hint at forces and technologies far beyond human understanding. Humanity realized that surviving the encounter was not just luck, but also a lesson in vigilance, preparation, and cooperation. Cities returned to normal routines, but people could not forget the massive fleet that had once filled the skies. Media outlets replayed footage, and documentaries explored every detail of the alien armada. Schools included lessons about the encounter, teaching children about space, technology, and the importance of unity in times of crisis. Citizens discussed the event endlessly, wondering why the aliens had come, what their intentions were, and how they had vanished without a trace. Scientists shared research openly, hoping that collaboration could bring understanding of the mysteries. From energy patterns to gravitational anomalies, every detail was documented and analyzed. Even the smallest data points were considered potentially important, as humanity tried to piece together what had happened. Some theorized that the aliens had been destroyed by forces beyond their control. Others suggested they had chosen to retreat or enter a hidden dimension. Yet no single theory could explain everything, leaving the mystery alive. Military forces remained alert, reorganizing and strengthening defenses. While the immediate threat was gone, humanity had learned that the universe could hold dangers far greater than previously imagined. Defense satellites, space observation systems, and research stations were maintained at high readiness, and new technologies were developed inspired by the alien fleet's advanced design. Even in relief, people understood that being prepared for the unknown was now a permanent part of life. The disappearance of the fleet sparked a sense of pride in humanity, that despite being a small civilization compared to the aliens, Earth had survived. The unity shown during the crisis, as nations worked together to monitor, communicate, and defend, left a lasting impression on leaders and citizens alike. People felt a new connection to one another and to their planet, understanding that cooperation could ensure survival even when facing unknown cosmic forces. Public fascination with the aliens grew, inspiring scientists, engineers, and explorers. Museums displayed models and simulations of the Armada, while researchers worked tirelessly to develop new propulsion, communication, and energy technologies based on observations from the encounter. The mystery of the vanished fleet became a driving force for human advancement, pushing society to think bigger, explore further, and innovate faster than ever before. Even though no one knew exactly why the Armada disappeared, the event left lessons that were remembered for generations. Humanity learned the importance of observation, patience, and preparation, realizing that not all forces could be controlled, but that understanding and readiness could make the difference between survival and disaster. The encounter showed that courage and intelligence were essential, but also that humility in the face of the unknown was equally important. Philosophers and thinkers reflected on the experience, teaching that the universe was full of mysteries, some beyond comprehension. The vanished Armada became a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that survival was not only about power, but also about respect for forces beyond human knowledge. People learned to balance curiosity with caution, exploration with preparation, and ambition with humility. Years later, scientists continued to study the anomalies, tracing faint remnants of energy patterns and cosmic disturbances. Even small hints of the fleet's presence were considered valuable, guiding humanity's understanding of space and the possibilities of other civilizations. The vanished Armada inspired a sense of wonder, proving that the universe was full of surprises, and that even the mightiest forces could face challenges they could not predict. Humanity moved forward, stronger, wiser, and more united, remembering the encounter not as a moment of fear alone, but as a turning point, a lesson in survival, cooperation, and the vast, unpredictable beauty of the cosmos. Earth had endured, learned, and grown, ready to face whatever mysteries the universe might present next. Decades passed, but the story of the vanished alien Armada remained alive in the minds of humanity. Scientists, historians, and explorers studied every piece of data collected during the encounter, hoping to understand what had happened. Yet, despite all research, no one could fully explain how the massive fleet had disappeared without a trace. The mystery became a lesson in humility, reminding humans that the universe contained forces far beyond their understanding, forces that could challenge even the most advanced civilizations. Humanity grew cautious and wise, realizing that exploration and curiosity had to be balanced with respect and preparation. Space programs expanded, sending probes and satellites further into the galaxy, not only to discover new worlds, but also to be aware of any unknown threats. Lessons from the alien encounter shaped scientific priorities, diplomatic strategies, and defense planning. Governments invested in advanced monitoring systems, research stations, and interplanetary communication networks, ensuring that Earth would never be caught unprepared again. Despite caution, there was also a renewed sense of adventure and inspiration. The vanished fleet reminded humanity that the universe was vast, full of possibilities, and that life might exist far beyond Earth. Artists, writers, and filmmakers drew inspiration from the events, imagining civilizations, technologies, and mysteries that stretched the imagination. Children grew up learning about the alien Armada, seeing it not just as a story of fear, but as a tale of courage, unity, and human potential. Every generation remembered the encounter differently. Some focused on the fear and danger, warning that the universe was unpredictable and sometimes hostile. Others focused on survival and courage, emphasizing how humanity had come together to face the unknown and continue forward. Schools taught the history as both a scientific and moral lesson, showing the importance of preparation, observation, and cooperation when confronting forces beyond understanding. The vanished fleet became a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that even the strongest and most advanced civilizations could face challenges they could not predict or control. Scientists continued to monitor cosmic anomalies, searching for any sign that a similar force might appear again. Every unusual signal or energy fluctuation was studied carefully, with teams ready to respond to any potential threat. Humanity learned to be vigilant, curious, and humble all at the same time. Even as humans explored new planets and technologies, they remembered that survival sometimes depended on respect for the unknown. The encounter taught that intelligence and power were important, but they were not enough without wisdom, patience, and caution. People realized that being prepared mentally and socially was as vital as technological advancement, that unity, cooperation, and knowledge could protect against forces that could not be fully understood. The experience also inspired collaboration across nations, cultures, and scientific disciplines. Earth's people recognized that the universe was bigger than any single country or group, and that working together was essential for survival and progress. International space programs shared discoveries, joint missions became common, and humanity learned to approach the stars with both courage and care. The vanished Armada became a reminder that unity could turn fear into strength and uncertainty into opportunity. Stories, records, and simulations kept the memory alive, inspiring generations to look up at the sky with curiosity, respect, and ambition. Researchers studied not only the fleet, but also the cosmic forces that had caused its disappearance, seeking knowledge, understanding, and the chance to be prepared for whatever lay beyond Earth. People understood that the universe held wonders, dangers, and mysteries far greater than imagined, and that learning to face them wisely was humanity's greatest challenge. As technology advanced, humans sometimes wondered if the alien fleet would return or if other civilizations might appear. The vanished Armada remained a warning, a lesson, and a spark of imagination all at once. Humanity knew it had survived something extraordinary, but also that survival was only the beginning of understanding the universe. Curiosity, courage, and vigilance became guiding principles, shaping how humans explored, discovered, and defended their planet. The legacy of the vanished fleet was clear. The universe was full of mysteries, some dangerous, some beautiful, and some beyond understanding. Humanity had learned to respect the unknown, to prepare for it, and to be inspired by it. Knowing that even in the face of forces far stronger and stranger than themselves, they could endure, learn, and grow. Earth had become wiser, stronger, and more united, ready to face whatever mysteries awaited among the stars.